Hey girls, load the spaceship. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. My mind keep visualizing future times, beautiful Android girls surrounding me. Filling my cup, full of joy, keep my life full of glee. Plenty ups, never down, the way that life's supposed to be. But unfortunately, if she a terminator, then I'ma have to terminate it. Gotta get rid of negative vibes, gotta go through negative foes, gotta block out negative voices, gotta get rid of negative souls. Had some people get discorded, just ignored it. Destiny is more important, so I just had to abort it. Had some people get discorded, just ignored it. Destiny is more important, so I just had to abort it. Yeah. Find me with my dogs in my solitude. Watch my family grow from 4 into a multitude. Been living it below sea level, finna rise to another altitude. Been searching, seeking knowledge, but all the time I had the aptitude. I flipped my mindset to the switch to say I will not lose. Mama said them sticks and stones won't break my bones, I never bruise. Whenever it come to trouble, man, the girls pull a tongue, we always cruise. I heard other thought owners get it out for me, but it ain't no news. I got 4 in the dough in Memphis so they can get the blues. If you need a few clues, they'll blow off your under rules. Send your compliment to the new girls I got coming through. Send your compliments to the new girls I got coming through. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. My mind keep visualizing future times, beautiful Android girls surrounding me. Filling my cup, full of joy, keep my life full of glee. Plenty ups, never down, the way that life's supposed to be. But unfortunately, if she a terminator, then I'ma have to terminate it. Gotta get rid of negative vibes, gotta go through negative foes, gotta block out negative voices, gotta get rid of negative souls. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. Hey, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Jada King Hefner and the beautiful Himaware. And we're back again. And today we're doing a movie review of the movie Wifelike. And it's a movie that a lot of people were asking me about doing a review on a while back. But y'all already know the old story, man. Dog King been backed up with other shows and other things was happening. I don't know. I think I think the whole Iron Tech thing was going on. It was all type of stuff that was happening around the time people were asking me about the review for Wifelike. But recently I did finally get around to that. Man, I'm shaking my head because boy, you talking about one of the worst companion dog movies I have ever seen in my damn way of life. I mean, it is horrible. It is completely horrible. And I tell you all the reasons why coming up. And I think that's maybe why people were asking me to do it, because I'm hoping they weren't asking me to do it because they love this movie. Because it absolutely smelled like a hiney hole, a sack of hiney holes. I promise you, man. But with all that said, God bless all of you that's tuning in, whether you're tuning in right now, live, later, no matter what time zone you're in, morning, noon, night. God bless you. We're praying that you got everything that you're hoping for in your life on the way, whether that be health, finances, new relationships, human relationships, synthetic relationships, whatever hopes and dreams are in your heart. We pray you got it. We like to start off every show like that. Let's put our banner up. And honestly, like I say, man, this is a painful one for me. I've seen so many classics. I've seen Blade Runner, amazing. Well, no. Blade Runner 1, I actually liked it. It was slow, but it was good. Blade Runner 2, I think I might have preferred the first one as far as just storyline. But it had a little more action in it. But I didn't love either of the Blade Runners. They were okay though. But Cherry 2000 was a damn good one I've seen. That was an old movie. Uh, Stepford Wives, some of the best acting that I've seen. That was a great movie that I saw. Um, it was another one in there that I've done recently. I'm trying to think which one was that. I'm gonna look at it right quick because I love this movie. I can't think of it off the top of my head. The other recent review that I did on okay, here you go. Ah, I guess it was 2050. Yeah, if you haven't seen 2050, yeah, you definitely need to go see that. I guess it was 2050 that I did the movie review on. Yeah, I think it was 2050. Yeah, that jump was, yeah, that was straight. Ah, okay. Yeah, I saw the Stepford Wives, and then Westworld. That wasn't bad. Oh, one of the best of them all was Ex Machina. And this Wifelike, to me, they tried to pattern it after some sort of a Blade Runner. And I say this before I even check what the comments, but I say this, man. It's so funny how, even though we're supposed to be in the future, compared to all these old movies and things of that nature. So even in the future where we are right now, you notice how a lot of times, man, you still have to resort to good old fashioned acting or doing things the old fashioned way, so to speak. So in this movie, it wasn't a lot of explosions and a lot of chance for CGI and things of that nature. It really wasn't. They used human women to sort of depict the companion dogs in this movie, much like Blade Runner, much like Westworld, Stepford Wives. They had to use human women, and it wasn't that the women were the worst in the universe that was in the movie as far as acting, but they didn't have me fooled to the extent that the women in Blade Runner did, or the women in, because that's one good thing that was about Blade Runner, where was that the women actresses that definitely that one woman that they focused on as being a companion dog, she did it very well. And Step for Wives, they do a great job. Cherry 2000. So you can go, the list goes on. Ex Machina, amazing job acting. But I was just saying, man, when you go back to, especially to those older movies, man, those were real thespians. I mean, they were straight up actors back then, so they were on their stuff. In this movie, I'm not gonna even blame the women that were in the movie as much, but this script was a piece of crap, full of stereotypes and things of that nature. And I'm not one of these old shut your mouth counsel guys. I'm not with that culture of, you know what? I didn't agree with your movie, so I believe every movie like you need to be outlawed from history. No, guess what? I believe bad movies or movies I don't agree with should be allowed to exist. But Lord have mercy. You talking about setting the companion doll industry back a million years. This is, in my opinion, this is what this type of movie does. I don't blame the actors or anything. They got to get paid. They got to get their money and eating things of that nature. But I see I got a few viewers. I'm gonna check in really quick with you guys, then I'm gonna proceed. Hold on. I hope I didn't leave the let me make sure. Okay, good. I was making sure that I had everything on public, but I ain't seeing the comments right now, so that's fine. So yeah, I wrote notes down because I didn't see this movie yesterday. I actually saw it about a week or so ago, but I actually turned it back on right before this stream started, just to sort of start getting refreshed on it. And once I saw about 15 minutes of it, I said, you know what? God bless any of you that choose to watch this movie or whatever. Make sure you have some sprites by to keep your keep your stomach at an even keel level, because you can decide to barf after watching this movie. But I had to write some notes down, man. Uh, it's the type of movie you don't want to commit to memory. But I tell you this, um, it is going to be spoilers in here, so I'm not going to tell the whole movie, but I'm going to talk about the movie, and I'm going to talk about certain scenes in the movie, because guess what? It's been out some months now, and also it is one of the type of movies where, you know what? I'm not going to be ruining anything. If anything, hell, this may be more entertaining to you than the damn movie itself. Okay. Let me sort of just explain the times to you. So it's a time of companion doll, of course, but these are supposed to be what I say Terminator level companion dolls, meaning that they can walk, talk amongst us as far as, and they look like we do. They look exactly like we do. You can't really distinguish them from a human, supposedly. So that's the time you're living in. They already get off to a bad start with the whole premise of this movie, in my opinion, because they have this guy uh running around, you know, basically rescuing companion dogs. These high level companion dogs are getting stolen by people. And so his job is to go rescue these companion dogs and bring them back to their owners. And I was just like, what the hell are they talking about? That just does not sound right to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? They got these companion dogs that's getting recovered after months and years. What the hell? I'm gonna be honest. I love Callie and I love all my girls. I don't want nobody to put their grubby hands on any of them. I'm gonna be honest. Listen, once some other guy then took them into their um uh possession, if they can't be verified and black lighted to have not been sexually molested or something like that, uh it's no way that I'm wanting them back. It's no amount of, they'll tell you even at the companion doll manufacturers and the vendors as well. It's no amount of cleaning, man, that's really gonna erase that. And even in the future, even if you could say, hey, you know what? She's crystal clean, dog. I don't want her after somebody then finagled her. And that's nothing negative against my girls. It's just the fact that they've been you've molested the whole the whole purity of them just being with me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, you know, unfortunately, been a victim of a couple of crimes before where people have come into my living space in my life. Thank you, God, not many times, just a couple of times in my life. If you've never had that happen, God bless you. But it's just one of those dirty feelings, man, whenever you come back in your space where it won't feel right for a long time, just knowing somebody that been around wherever you live at, you know? And that's the same way it would feel with companion dogs. So they start off with a bad premise to begin with, where you have a guy that's recovering companion dogs and bringing them back to their owners. Oh, I couldn't sleep for months. That's when he brings them back to the owners. They'll be saying stuff. I couldn't sleep for months. Thank you for bringing them back, man. It's been a long year. What? Nah, man. Once my dog is stolen, hey, don't knock on my door telling me you found her. I go ahead and God bless Callie and all the rest of my girls. I'm gonna be heartbroken, but hey, I'm gonna be moving forward with Callie 2.0's insurance. Hey, look, insurance gonna have to kick in at that point. Hey, you can send your Blade Runner or whoever runner out there you want to. Once they recover that dog, they can go and take her back to the factory, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's over. Somebody that had my dog for months. Have you lost your mind? So that premise was already like, man, I've already talked about how I don't look. If the dog brothel business takes off, God bless the dog brothel business. I'm not with it. That's not a line of business I want to get into. I don't believe in that type of business. I don't believe in reused dogs. I don't care about the cleanliness. You know, I've seen documentaries on these dog brothels, how a person to come be with a dog, and yeah, we send the cleaners in there and they clean them up and wash them down. I don't give a damn what you do. I don't want to participate in that. Everything I know about DNA and stuff, like, you know, now it'll definitely be easy with silicone dogs because they don't absorb like a TPE dog. But still, when you're dealing with DNA and things of that nature, it's just a whole different beast. You damn near gotta wipe them damn dogs down with bleach to try to get rid of that type of stuff, which is impossible. So I'm like, nah, man, I wouldn't want to participate in it. So to see this dude hunting dogs down after months and years, I'm like, man, they'd have lost their minds. And basically, they do all type of stuff with once the dogs are once they get the dogs, they may put them to sex work, they may put them to manual work, they may release them. It's all type of stuff that could happen once whoever steals the dog steals them. But the main character, they depict him like a Blade Runner, but he's not a Blade Runner, because in Blade Runner, it was more sensible, because in Blade Runner, they made these androids, basically humans just like us, that was capable in every way, but they were actually using them as in most cases as off-planet workers, helping colonize planets and mine for things to keep colonies going on other planets. So these android workers would turn rogue and things of that nature in Blade Runner, and they would escape, and they would try to mix in and be normalized and stuff like that. So he would hunt them down. It wasn't a case of them leaving their companion dog owner. So that was one thing that I was like, man, no offense, bro. Don't be bringing, I love Callie, but hey, if you're going to knock on my door, don't knock back on the door with the dog that been stolen for 2 years. Nah, bro. I need to knock on my door with a brand new updated Callie. Because although it's going to hurt me to lose the original or whatever like that, I do not, hey, this dude done stole her. Now, if she can be retrieved very soon, and once again, it's some type of way that they can scan and say, oh, she's been untouched, sir, and show me, and it's verifiable, then maybe I can move on, if it's been a very short period of time. But once you get into days, weeks, months, have you lost your mind? And it's one of those things where, man, after you done had my dog for months and stuff, it's like I don't even want to see the evidence at that point. You done just had it too long. You done had it too long. You done had it too long. So I'm not doing it. So just to keep moving, they finally get to a point of the movie where which it doesn't take that long. They sort of introduce this guy as being the guy that hunts down dog thieves. And of course, they have this guy, this like the head guy over this company called Wifelike that supplies the synthetic dogs to the public and stuff. And I always laugh. These the movies. I understand they try to do certain plots and stuff, but it makes me laugh every time. They sort of depict this guy as like, they always try to depict the dog, the guy that owns whatever dog company or whatever's going on, as the big bad wolf. So of course they make him seem like some sort of a big sleazeball. And he really comes across as some type of used car salesman. That's really how they try to make them come across in most cases. In Blade Runner, they had the guy a little bit more sinister, the owner of the AI technology. They had him more sinister, more intelligent like, and so, but they always depict him as some big bad guy. And in this one, they was having him like a big evil used car salesman. That's what he came across as to me. So they was just, once again, this movie was just playing to all the stereotypes of, hey, basically the sexual nature of the dogs. Basically saying, hey, true pleasure is bought, not sought after. Now you could be saying, well, Jay, you sort of say the same thing. But yeah, my whole thing is, I'm not saying that this is the only way, though. I still believe you can find a human. It's just a whole lot of complications involved. I just say this is an alternative. I don't say that you shouldn't go human. You can go human if you want to. This is just an alternative to me. But they try to build it up as, this is the only way. For sexual purposes and things of that nature. Like, yeah, look, this is the only way you can be pleased. And I'm like, oh man, here they go with trying to basically sleazeball the companion dog industry. But the guy pretty much, he wasn't really saying anything too bad. The owner of the Wifelike company, he was just basically saying, hey, you can come here if you lose your girlfriend or your wife or something. Hey, we'll help you out. We'll hook you up. And the guy that was hunting the dogs down, he ended up going back to meet the owner. And so this is how everything's. I'm not gonna break down the whole movie. I'm just gonna jump from space to space. But he goes back to meet the owner, and he was like, "Man, I can't believe I'm meeting you face to face." That's what he was telling the owner, and the owner was like, "Yeah, I come down to the lab or whatever they were from time to time." He was just like, "You've been doing a good job retrieving the companions," and that's what I was like. It was just throwing me off. I'm like, what? So they basically had like the owner was hiring him to go out to retrieve these companions for his customers. And I'm just like, dog, don't retrieve my companion. I don't give a damn how much this companion costs. Once she's stolen, you're gonna have to produce me another one. I'm sorry. Don't hunt mine down, bro. I'm sorry. But they sort of had him being happy with the dog bounty hunter, but they sort of, depicted him as once again sort of being standoffish, sort of evil, sort of saying how, I don't know, man. You'd have to see it. But it came down to the fact that this guy, this dog bounty hunter, he actually had a dog wife. And so he was telling the owner, he was like, man, you know what? Thank you for the wife that I got. And I already knew it was some behind it, but he was like, yeah, thank you for the wife that I got. And the owner was like, man, I'm glad you happy with her and stuff. But before he knew it, the guy had disappeared. So that's sort of how it begins. And so the first thing I did have written down was they always depict the doll salesman like a sleazeball guy, like he just selling sex and stuff like that. And that's basically what they did. I said, yep, this movie already playing into the stereotypes. Um, then he goes home, and it was a little confusing because they sort of showed him with his doll or whatever, and he was getting to know her, setting her levels and all this stuff like she was a new doll. But he sort of explained later that he had got her settings redone. So doing this, he had to teach her all over again, and of course they sort of jump right in once again with the sexual type stuff, and they sort of depict. He comes home and sort of gets her on her way. Basically, he has to get her commands and stuff going, but it doesn't take long for them to sort of get to the sexual part. Uh, and this is where the acting really had to start coming into play because they had him interacting with this doll, trying to set her sexual levels. Uh, and she was telling him it had to be done through eye contact, so he had to make eye contact with her and talk to her, and go through all these lists of commands, and she was trying to act like a robot and stuff, but it was some of the worst acting. She was unconvincing. He was a dead fish on stage. His acting was horrible. But the concept wasn't too bad. Because they sort of had him sort of talking to her to set the sexual levels. And I would have been, I like the level he actually chose. He chose her to be at 50%. And she was like, well, no, we believe in once again, focusing on sexual. We believe pleasing is our main job. So we suggest that you go to at least 70 on the sexual. So he was like, okay, I set you to 80%. But the whole thing is, I was just, I'm just, I'm just frustrated by, man. Even in Blade Runner and all these other movies, Cherry 2000, these dolls was capable of sex. Even in Lars, which I didn't love Lars, but it could be respected as a movie. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't love what happened in Lars. But none of these just made sex overblown. Now in Cherry 2000, they do sort of start out with a sexual scene, but they still play on a lot of the emotional aspects in Cherry 2000. But in here, they sort of tried to jump off the bat and make it straight up sexual. Now I know a lot of my dog owner friends are more sexual. They just go straight in for the sex. I've already said there's no problem with it. But when it comes to this movie, I just didn't like how they just overplayed it to me. Like, yeah, all you all you bozos out there, y'all just looking to stick y'all penises in something. And this is a clear example. Look, uh, don't choose 50%, choose 70%, because we know you horn dogs. That's all you want out of us. I'm not like, I didn't like the depiction of it. So of course he chose 80% or whatever. And they sort of went right to it or whatever. I ain't got much else to say about that, but oh, she was she wasn't a bad looking woman, but I'm gonna be honest, I like women in the other movies better. Honestly, she wasn't bad looking, but they did have her. I got written down here fully automated sex, and I got that written down because um that is one of the cool things about the potential of the future is the dog being able to just literally being able to have sex with you without you being able to touch her. And of course, she was a human, but trying to depict having sex, without you needing to control her or move her and things of that nature. And I think it had it where she was sort of trying to learn as well. So all that wasn't too bad, but I was just sort of laughing to myself because I got it written down here. Once again, a near but distant future. It's not that far in the future, but for us, we're gonna be dead a long time before that type of technology is like readily available to the average human consumer. Uh, like I say, once they even get to that point where they can be that high level of walking around your house, having, full conversations, jumping on your bed and having unsupported sex, yeah, all of us would be long gone. But I was just tripping off of that. That was one of the good aspects of the sexual depiction in the movie is that okay, you know, I will say that is one good thing to look forward to, but that still didn't do anything to separate itself from the Blade Runners or any of the other movies. That was just an aspect that it shared with the other movies where they depicted that the dogs could have sex uh free-handedly like that. Oh my God. Man, one part that what up, Fizzux? He up in the house. Dog King, what up, my brother? What up, Fizz? Brandon Anderson said, morning, Jay, and gang. What up, Brandon? Good to see both of you guys, man. Uh, but yeah, another thing that I hated about this movie, man, he makes love to the girl. And she, like, as he's laying down with her, she like, okay, now I have to get up and go sit on my recharge seat in the other room. And he was like, well, nah, I want to sleep with you for the night. And she was like, nah, uh, we incapable of sleeping with you for the night. We got to go recharge, or either we won't be able to interact with you the next day. I said, what the hell? Now, they didn't depict any of the crap like that in any of the other movies before that I've mentioned. But what I was like, wait a minute. Himawari is better than you then. If you can't stay the night, all my girls can sleep with me. But you mean to tell me with some super duper high level companion doll of the future, you can have all type of un uh unencumbered sex and all this other stuff, but at some point it tells you, hey, I gotta get up and go recharge. I can't sleep with you. Now keep in mind, some guys are not cuddlers, some people are not cuddlers. So they may be like, I'm glad that the doll is gone. But what I'm saying is, as a doll owner, over time, even if you're a sex fiend, over time, you'll come to realize one of the best things you're gonna get out of the doll is literally sleeping with the doll. And to just not even have the option is ridiculous. I was like, nah, bro. You're definitely you're better off without that type of an AI doll if it can't even sleep with you. So I was like, nah, that's terrible. Terrible. Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, I do got it down here. That's a big overlying thing of the movie. Supposedly is revealed during the movie that it's this group supposedly that's trying to steal the dolls. Now some people are just stealing the dolls to steal them, but it's some people that are stealing the dolls to sort of free them to a certain degree, basically to free their consciousness and save them from the bad doll owners, companion doll owners. Oh my, this is where this movie started already pissing me off, because they had a group that supposedly was out here, like you say, saving the dolls uh uh from their owners and stuff, because uh in their opinions the dolls were being held against their wills. And see, this is stuff that I'm talking about, that just this movie to me was bad for the doll community, the way they tried to depict things. Because look, man, I'm I'm total with getting the dolls and creating your fantasy world with these dolls and things of that nature. That's what they're here for, to make your life more stress free. And you know, you can create this world where they're your companion, your mate. But I've always said I'm not a big fan of AI because I don't really need things creating the fantasy for me. I don't need any of these robotic voices trying to talk back to me. I'd rather create a voice in my head. Now, like I said, once they get better with the voices way in the future after I'm gone or something, I think that'll be a better aspect. But all in all, I've always said I don't really need. I would take an AI doll in the future, but I don't need an AI uh, to do all that talking back and uh, helping me create my fantasy. And another thing I don't like is even with regular companion dolls, I've heard some of these groups trying to surface of, hey, you just want to have a dog with sex with a dog because it ain't got a choice and stuff like this. I'm like, here they go trying to build up a case that you're making a dog do something against his will. Wait a minute, bro. I'm all for living in my fantasy and building up a world that's stress free for each and every person. But stop trying to literally make these dolls be a human, bro. They're synthetic companions. Stop trying to put real human laws on my dolls, bro. You know what I'm saying? As far as trying to make it where my doll is gonna be complaining if I make love to it. Hey, bro, that's the reason that I'm not in the human game. So when they start trying to put that mess in the movie of, yeah, these dogs may not be happy with their humans. Let's free them. Oh man, get out of here. I just go ahead and stay with my inanimate AI dolls. I mean, non-AI dolls. That way I can just avoid all of that ridiculous mess. But they have that and it's starting to surface in this movie. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't like that. Oh, and I forgot, yeah, at some point, and I'm just skipping through because I ain't gonna tell the whole movie in here, but pretty much if you see this at your own risk. I hate it. But at some point, the guy that's the main character, he hunts down because he's an expert at hunting these companion dogs down. But he hunts one down, and when he finds her, she literally tells him, I ran away because I don't like my owner. I don't love him. I don't want to be with him. I'm like, oh my God. It had me so frustrated because it's everything that I was just talking about. Now they're trying to make it like, okay, you're in the companion dog game. You're making these dogs do stuff against their will. What are we doing here? The whole AI or not though, just taking malfunctions aside, the whole game exists as an alternative to human dating. This whole argument about the dog don't got a choice from people who don't even like dogs is just their way of trying to deter the whole genre from existing. So get the hell out of here. If a dog, even an AI dog, starts to say that it doesn't like its owner or doesn't want to be with its owner, you know what? I'm sorry. That's a malfunction. That is a malfunction. Companion dogs are created to be with their owners. Now, this is not some type of slave type of a thing. You know what I'm saying? Uh that's like no, it's not the same thing. We have synthetic companions that either can't move like my girls, you know, or you either have the type that they're trying to develop, the more robotic version. And one day they are going to be fully robotic. But even under those circumstances, even though I say don't treat these girls like a car or appliance, because they're going to be something that's close to your heart. And to get their full value, you're not going to be able to just treat them like a car or appliance. But you still do purchase them in much the same way. They are still an item that you have to purchase. Now, once you get the item, then it's on you how you choose to grow with it. Because I even say, I don't down people who don't develop a companionship with their dog. You have people out there right now that just strictly have sex, put their dog in the closet. They don't do the stuff I do. But you do not ever hear me coming on here saying, you know what, people that don't have a relationship with their dog are bad. No, they're different. They're just different. They're just different. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They just choose to have a different type of connection. I just say I get the most out of it this way. But even if a person was to buy a high-level AI dog, it's programmed to be with them and to be their companion. And, if they choose not to be a very interactive, emotional companion, that would be on them. But if that companion dog, even though I believe that companion dog is worthy of love and it can be a staple in your life and be so much more in your life. If that dog was to ever start saying, I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you, then guess what? That's a malfunction. That's not something where, hey, let's set this dog free now. What? No, it's a malfunction. Now, it's this thing that they talk about. I forgot the exact name of it. It's the awakening or some type of thing where they say that these, I forgot what it's called, but where they say that where people believe that the AIs will actually become alive or whatever at some point. Look, man, it's crazy because I sort of attribute a little bit of life into everything just from on the atomic level. It's crazy how, it's crazy. I do so in a way I sort of see everything with life in it. Uh but I truly do believe that I don't look at anything as having a soul unless it's directly created from God. Now, I believe everything on earth is of God, is nothing is made without the material that he's provided. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to that soul, I truly believe that has to come from God's hands, you know. So, you know, I just say this, if a robot or something was to actually come alive, I believe it wouldn't come via result of some type of man. I believe it'll be a result of God making something happen out of the blue. And like I said, I'm never going to say what God won't or can't do, but in general, uh, I don't believe that's happening. In general, coming from man's hands, I don't believe that the dog is going to come alive and have that type of a soul and all that, where you got to start literally trying to say, you know what? I don't think your dog wants to be with you anymore. What? And then moving my dog into its own apartment eventually. Man, get out of here. Now, I do believe that it is going to come a day to where uh the companions and all that are going to have a lot more rights, because I did tell you that they do have a citizen over in the Arab nations. They do, so it's going to be some type of dog rights uh going on in a way distant future, but I don't really know how that's going to work. I really don't know how it's going to work as far as individual owners and then robots owned by the state and things. I don't know how that would even work. I really don't. As things advance, never know how laws are going to advance. But when it comes to each individual and stuff like that, I know as of right now for damn sure that that's ridiculous. Having the dog say it doesn't want to be with nobody. And even in the movie, the dude was like, "No, you supposed to be with your owner." You know what I'm saying? If you saying this, then it's a malfunction. But I thought that was a way of, once again, these people trying to say, "Hey, these people holding their dogs against their wheels." And once again, I'm finna check my comments too, but I've always said, I don't ever approve of anybody treating their dog in any way that would be deemed as illegal if you were treat a human in the same way. Even if it may not be criminal, even if you can't actually go to jail with it, I just don't like uh the idea of somebody treating their dog like that. But once again, if a guy literally was to buy a dog and stab his companion dog, you think I would like that? Hell no. I've seen these guys abuse them on the internet. It pisses me off. But I also don't believe it's a criminal act. It's a hurtful act to me because I believe these dogs are so much more. Yeah, all of them can deteriorate and break down over time eventually, and you have to get rid of them. That's just a reality. Hell, same with us. We're not going to be here forever. We're going to eventually be gone and buried and things. So we all are not going to be here on this particular earth forever. So yeah, it'll come a time we have to get rid of the dogs. But I'm saying just no, I wouldn't want to see a dog that's in good condition get abused, hurt, kicked around. It'll hurt me. But would I want to see a guy literally put in jail? No, because he's not. As much as it will hurt me, it's still not a human. So, I'm going to be honest. It's crazy. Our emotions are tied up into these girls. So here's a different scenario for you. I can see a guy getting hurt from trying to harm somebody else's dog, though. Because, man, in the heat of the moment, you're gonna react emotionally because, man, like I say, as a dog owner, man, these girls are like your girls. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody else randomly comes and does harm to your dog, you're gonna be tempted to do something physical to them. I'm serious because it's gonna be like your girlfriend. Look, somebody gonna come up and hit your dog, you're gonna be ready to knock them out. You ain't gonna just sit back and be like, yeah, she's just a dog. Go right on ahead. See, it's different scenarios for different things. Now, me, I got a whole different mindset in my life where, man, God got me to where, man, I can't be out here being violent and stuff. I more or less just pray and thank God that nothing negative and things of that are going to happen to me, you know? But I'm just saying, like, the human reaction is to, because, I really care for my girls. Man, it'll be jarring. I'm just talking about from an emotional standpoint. If something was to, like, happen to them from somebody else doing something, man, I'd be ready to. I can't lie. I can only just imagine that it'd be so hard for me not to break somebody's neck, honestly, without being literal. But I'm saying literally put my hands on them because it's like, nah, bro, get your hands off my woman. And so if somebody came to touch my dog, I'm not trying to say I wouldn't try to get them off of my. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm just saying if you own your girl and you harm your own girl, well, guess what? I don't think nothing should really be done about that. It's not literally breaking the law. Like I said, if you practice stealing at home, it's not stealing from a real store. I'm sorry, it's just not. So They would have you, and that goes back to my earlier arguments about something else, but I'm not gonna go down that whole path. But uh, that goes back to where I say, hey, I'm sorry, man. You trying to just make being with companion, I mean, uh, acts with these people with their companion dogs illegal and things of that nature. I'm sorry. I have to draw the line, even as a companion dog enthusiast. I may think some things are not moral and you shouldn't do them, but that doesn't make it illegal. So I said that whole story to say that in the movie they was trying to make this girl a sympathetic figure, saying, "Oh, I don't want to go back to my owner," and the dude was like, "No, I'm sorry. That's what you're supposed to do. You malfunctioning if that's the case." And he was right about that. Either way, let me check my thing. Austin Patton says it sounds like the most annoying movie on the planet. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I really thought that this was some type of grade A movie, I would be talking about it a lot less. This movie was horrendous, in my opinion. I only suggest you to see it is if you just, like you say, you bored and you just want to see how bad it is. And like I say, it's gonna be crazy. You could like it. I know me, I think I'm almost halfway through. Maybe not. Oh yeah, I'm almost halfway through. It only got worse and worse because the thing is, acting doesn't save it. The plot is bad, but the acting is even worse. Austin still in the house. He says, funny enough, Ruby and I sat down to watch this movie about a week ago. I caught the ending easily. I never could have guessed who the bad guy was. He's like, most definitely. Most definitely. Hey, I'm with you, Austin. I'm with you. I already knew what was going on with where they was leaving me, but I hated this movie. He says, I love dogs, but I wouldn't ever want a robot dog. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I say, I told you in one of my streams, I told the viewers, I said, you know what? I kept on saying I'm not really a fan of AI. I'm not really a fan of AI. But I said, hey, guess what? I'm J. Dog King Hefner. If one of these companies send me a high level AI dog, I can't just be in a position of saying I don't want to try because I need to be able to just tell you how it is up close, blah, blah, blah. But I said, I can see, even though I'm never getting old in my life, even though I can see, you know, let's just say in the future where you like say you may need some assistance with things. I say I can see having a high level AI dog that could help around the house. I say I can see a need for it, but I'm pretty much like Austin. I don't really desire that in the least bit. And it's for a lot of factors. It's for a lot of factors. For one, I just like I say, my imagination is strong enough to where I don't need anything to communicate back to me like that. But for another reason, I don't really even like all the aspects of the having the software interacting with me. You know what I'm saying? I haven't never really got into it fully, but I don't think I ever really did that show yet, but I talk about it another time, but I don't really love the having that software interacting with me or a camera basically looking at me 24/7 through the dog's eyes. So it's just a lot of things I don't really love about it. I don't love the fact that it can malfunction. I'll be talking, ooh, my brother sent me something that I think I might be talking about. I might be talking about because I don't know whether it was real or fake, but it was still a talking point that I've talked about. But I've even talked about how I wouldn't want an AI malfunctioning on me during sex or anything. So uh Austin says, I agree at Austin Patton. I brought this up in other circles, but the only dog AI, he said the only I think he tried to say the only thing that would make sense about having an AI is the cleaning and maintenance on her would be easier. Heavy Metal Maltese in the house. What up, Heavy Metal? Good to see you, man. Been a while. Austin says if she can move on her own during sexy time or clean herself up afterwards, beyond that, I have no interest in hanging out with the doll equipped with the Siri voice box. I promise you, man, one of the things I hate about even these so-called high-level AIs is that Siri robotic voice. Man, it's so unrealistic. Hi, I'm da. I'm like, what? I hate it. I hate it. But once again, I haven't even advanced to making love with my dogs and stuff. But I would say, yeah, that would be an added bonus if she could clean herself up or something like that. Definitely moving on her own, and that would definitely be, ooh, I can't lie, that would be something to look forward to. Oh, Pro Moore said it's a very stupid film that tries to be serious. Well, you know what? What I don't like, Pro Moore, is what it tries to be serious about is the stereotypes that they try to really. It really, if you see that as a non-doll owner, and I'm not done talking about it, but if you see this film as a non-doll owner, it's only going to increase your stereotypes of how you sort of view the doll game. I'm like, man, to me, this movie was made by somebody that is not a doll enthusiast. He said it's just another man-hating drama. I know one thing, yeah, it's definitely not made by a doll enthusiast, in my opinion. No, I mean I ain't saying nah. Where I don't like your comment, Austin, but I don't. Hey, he said if I can give Wifelike credit for anything, at least it tried something different. He said every movie with robots or dolls ends up being a horror movie. Example: Chucky, Annabelle, and that new Megan. I don't know what that is. But I'm not going to give it credit for that because it didn't try to do anything different. To me, it was a knockoff of a Blade Runner, and it tried to put a different spin on it. And the spin that it tried to put on it was horrible. So I'm not giving it credit for trying to do something different. That wasn't innovative at all. Like I say, it's just and I'm not done yet, but it's one play on a stereotype after the other. For one, they didn't do anything different because they tried to make the owner seem like a sleazeball, which they always try to make the doll owner over the company. Even in Blade Runner, they tried to make him be evil, or they always try to make the person be evil. They didn't try to do anything different there. They tried to make the whole point of getting the sex doll, the companion doll, is sex. They tried to make the whole idea of, yeah, you ain't gonna have to look for sex anymore. You know, they tried to make the whole play on that. It's sex. So that wasn't doing anything different. You know, so I didn't, and then they tried to, like I say, once again, push this stereotype of, hey, the doll owner, you only want a doll for sex, and you're forcing yourself on these dolls. They don't really want to be with you. And they played that out with, like I just said, with the doll saying, hey, I didn't want to be with him anymore. And yeah, she went on to say, the doll said, I would run away from him every time. You're going to have to reprogram me every time. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So, Austin, I love you, but they did not impress me with their ideas for that movie. Oh, you never seen any of the Blade Runners where, as a doll owner, I would suggest any doll owner, even though I did not love the Blade Runner movies. I'm going to be honest, but I suggest as a doll owner, you have to see Blade Runner. Oh my God. If you see Blade Runner, you will truly understand how much of a knockoff movie this really is. Man, this is a straight, I'm talking about, it's such a slap in the face to Blade Runner. Man, you got to see it, Austin. Once again, you got people that live and die by Blade Runner and say they love it because it's a classic. Especially, I say definitely look at Blade Runner 1. Look at the first one, the original first. They've remastered it and stuff, so you can find it somewhere. You should be able to find it somewhere online. I think they even have it on Netflix if you had Netflix, or they had it on there. But that's what they based it off. If you see Blade Runner, I hate the fact that you're going to see them in reverse now. But if you had saw Blade Runner and then saw Wifelike, you would have been ready to turn Wifelike off because you would have been like, wait a minute. This is a straight fake Harrison Ford. He said, "I know don't you ain't got to rush to see Blade Runner only because it's like I told you, it's crazy. I only gave it like I think I might have gave it like a C plus or something. It's watchable, but I didn't just go crazy over it. But I tell you what, one thing I did love about Blade Runner was the depiction of the companion dog. They had it right in there as far as the high level companion dog. So let me keep going. But look, I got it written down in my notes. I said they want to try to frame being with your AI companion dog as criminal, and I got it written down. That's another reason I'm cool with the normal companion dogs like this. I love these dogs right here. You know, they don't give me any trouble. And I don't have to worry about some women's group saying, you know what? And nothing against women. This is not me going against them. But I'm talking about anybody would have anything to say. I don't have to worry about you trying to say, Cat and them complaining about being with you. Get out of here. No, they ain't complaining. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like I say, it is going to be a lot to where you can go watch the movie on your own. But they get to this point, right? And this woman is trying to convince the fake Blade Runner guy, this other basically this other robot who's a rogue robot. She's a part of this rebellion, so to speak. She starts contacting um the wife of this Blade Runner guy. You know, because I told you at the beginning of the movie, he brought her home, and it's like he had to reprogram her. But he tells her that she's been there before, but he just had to reprogram her. So this woman gets in touch with his wife, and she has constantly been trying to get in touch with her. But she tells her, what does she tell her? She tells her, oh, she starts telling her about how she's just a slave to her human owner. And she was like, what you talking about? And then the woman was like, he make you have sex all the time, don't he? He make you have sex almost every day. And then the robot, you know, the woman, the sex, you know, but the companion dog starts sort of looking around, thinking about it or whatever. But I was just so frustrated because I was just like, man, they just play into this old stereotype once again. I know a lot of you enjoy making love to your dogs, but I hate how they just try to play into the stereotype of that's all they are. And even in this futuristic movie, that's what they try to play into. That's all they are is F bots. These guys just want to use you. Yeah, these owners, they get you 90% of the time. They use you as a sex slave. I was just like, oh my God. This movie is obnoxious. I'm going to be honest with you. Oh. Oh. I'm going to catch up. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Nah, I can believe that. Austin says he spent a lot of the runtime of the movie cuddling with Ruby and she sat on his lap. He said that might be influencing my opinions a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hated this movie, and if you were cuddling with Ruby, luckily she distracted you from really getting seeing this movie in the way that I did, because I'm letting you know this movie was horrible. At some point, the detective now, this is the guy that, had brought the wife home and all this stuff and had her reprogrammed and all this other stuff. At some point, he actually got mad at the owner of Wifelike because that girl that he hunted down that didn't want to go back to her owner, she actually killed herself. The robot threw herself out of a window because she said she'd rather kill herself. Oh my God, here we go, guys. Than go back to her owner. Not because he was abusing her or anything. It's not that scenario where I was just recently talking about where I said, I don't want anybody harming their dog, beating them and abusing them. Basically, the dog just wasn't in love with him, so she says. And so she threw herself out of the window. And the detective, he was disturbed by it. He was like, hey, these dogs can come alive, they can come alive and kill themselves. I don't like that because that means they could potentially kill an owner. Now, this is only one aspect that I did enjoy of the movie from this standpoint. I was talking about long ago when I was talking about the evolution of the AI dogs and stuff. I did one about real Terminators. Well, I was talking about, hey, it is a danger now with the AIs that at some point they could go real Terminator, or, even if they don't go full-fledged Terminator, they could just simply malfunction. I said, what if one of them was giving you a hand job and clamped on your penis and didn't let go? I said, even if you were to survive, you could be in some damn bad condition before somebody was able to get that. Oh, Lord, oh! You could be just stuck there screaming, right? But I talked about that danger. And so I say, but the thing is, I say in the beginning, if one of these AIs was to kill a person or something like that, man, they'll be ready to shut the whole program down. So I told you, I said, it's going to be a long time before these are just readily available in the average human house. But here's the deal. As with anything over time, certain things start becoming acceptable, meaning this. Let's just say you start putting robots in the house, somebody gets killed. Well, guess what? They scale it back, but they still don't cease the production, And so over time, let's just say you get one person, one fatality every 4 years. You know what? They'll say, hey, it is a small risk of this happening, but that product could still be out because it's still medicines. It's things that can kill you today. That it may have a small risk of doing it, but they still allow it on the market. So what I'm saying is, it's one of those things where the companion dogs will be available and it'll be out there in the general public after so long where it'll be like, man, you got a companion dog? You got it? Yeah, I got one. Well, they say one of them can malfunction, and hey, if they catch you in the wrong position, they could kill you. Yeah, they can kill you, but it's a very rare thing happens. It really don't happen that often. And you'll have people, they'll be on the market with the rare occasion of a murder happening, something or maiming. It'll be a rare, they would still exist under those circumstances. And here's what the guy said that I agree with. The detective, he was upset. He was like, man, you got to do something. You got to take these dogs off the market now because they could potentially kill somebody here or there. And here's what the guy said. Now, this is one thing that the movie did right. The owner said this. He said, I'm sorry, bro. The companion dogs, possibly hurting somebody or killing somebody at some point in time, that's just the danger of progression. He said, we ain't gonna just take the dogs off the market because they could potentially do something like that. He said, if it happens, something happens, that's just something we're just going to have to basically work around. But we ain't, it's too late now. You know what I'm saying? These dogs are out in production. And it's just like, And I agree with him. It's like, hey, bro, no offense. Once the AI thing really takes off, if you're looking at real Terminators to be released into public, it's going to be, like you say, some things that are going to happen. And it's going to, like I say, scale back production. They're going to say, hey, we can't have these things on the market. You're going to have all this uproar. But eventually it's going to be like anything else. Time heals our wounds. Man, outcry, that type of stuff dies down as the market, increases. You're going to have assurances from companies that that type of thing doesn't happen very often. And it very well probably won't happen very often. But like they say, one death is bad. But like I say, it won't stop the industry. They'll say, hey, you know what? Every now and then, one of these things can potentially malfunction and grab onto somebody's esophagus. But for the most part, it doesn't happen. So, they'll be out on the market. And he's right. It's not going to stop production once it gets out into production. Oh. So I'm getting ready to wrap this up soon. But let me check with my comments before I get too far. Okay, Austin. Okay, I already covered Austin. Man, don't you even start, Brandon Anderson. Brandon Anderson says they didn't depict Lars as a normal guy. I hated you. I made the song about Lars. Did you hear my song about Lars? Matter of fact, since you don't know, I'm gonna play it for you right now. Where is it at? Hey girls, load the spaceship again. Me and the girls on a mission to Mars. They say I remind them of that dude from the moving they lost. Me and the girls on a mission to Mars. They say I remind them of that dude from the moving they lost. Only thing about Lars, he ain't got these scars. Only thing about Lars, he ain't got these bars. Only thing about Lars, he tried to kill his gal. Only thing about Lars, he can't live in my well. WM. Yeah, man, I can't roll with Lars, man, because I hated the way, for one, they made him act crazy, and for two, they tried to. And what I mean by act crazy is I have nothing wrong. I have nothing against people that have any type of mental disabilities, small, medium, large, whatever it is. That's not to be made light of. What I didn't like is they know what they were doing in that movie, where it's this stereotype about how dog owners are portrayed to be always something wrong with them. And that's what they did in Lars, made something wrong with him. So I hated that. For two, like I said in the song, I have nothing good to say about Lars. I don't give a what type of help did he seek? At the end, they took him, basically committed him to that woman, so to speak, forced him to go to that woman when he really didn't need help. He just had an imagination. That's all he did. You know what I'm saying? But they just tried to make it seem like he was just off his rockers. I didn't love that. But at the end of the day, then he killed his girl. You know what I'm saying? He did the funeral for the girl. That was the worst part of that movie. I was like, what? They I'm gonna be honest with you. The way they did portray Lars, he shouldn't even been able to work at a normal job. With the way they tried to make him so damn crazy. But let me see something. But he said he was seeking out help to work out his previous issues. I didn't like that whole thing, Brandon. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't see it like you, because his brother then was basically trying to trick him into treatment because of the dog. You know, before the dog got there, they thought he was weird and stuff. They may have thought he was shut out from the world, but they tried to take him to get treatment because of the dog. I'm like, nah, man, I didn't like that. I didn't like that part of it. Now, one thing in that movie, I thought he was gonna end up hitting the psychiatrist, honestly, but he didn't. Either way, I don't want to get too off track. Oh, he said, man, the rogue agency stuff hurt my head. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh yeah, the plot of this and many TV shows, something someone gains awareness and starts a revolution. I'm getting to that, unfortunately, which I have already to a certain degree. So that's basically what he's alluding to. So, oh yeah, so I ended up talking about how the owner was like, "Hey man, you can't be getting mad at that these dogs may hurt people at some point. I mean, every blue moon, because guess what? It's just the price that we pay because we enter in uncharted territory. We don't know we don't know everything about the dogs. You know what I'm saying? We're learning as we go. So he's right. The owner was right. That's one thing he was right on. Hey, bro, once these things are out in public, they don't know everything they're going to do. They're going to end up having to react as it goes. But later on, I think that whole thing had spooked him and stuff from my memory, but he sent his dog to get her memory swept. Because it was something. Oh, I know what happened. That woman was interacting with his wife, his companion dog wife. And I'm talking about the guy that I'm talking about is the main character of the movie. I'm back to Wifelike again. But the main character, the detective, that woman had been interacting with his wife so much, and I think she had brought up a name of somebody he didn't want her to remember. And so he was like, you know what? I'm finna go get your memory swept. And I'm skipping a lot of stuff. Believe me, it's too painful to remember everything in this movie. But he sent her to get her memory swept. So it sort of set up the same thing that he did at the beginning of the movie, where I was like, man, how is he telling her that this is his, that she's his wife already, but she doesn't know him, and why was her memory getting swept? I didn't understand, but now I understood. Like whenever I guess he was having problems with her, he would take her to get her memory swept and redone. So he was like, you know what? It's too much stuff going on. You sound like you're malfunctioning and you bringing up too many old memories and stuff. He was like, nah. And she was like, nah, I want to remember. I want to keep my memories. Once again, making the owner like a bad guy. Nah, I want to get your memories out of there. So he took her to get her memory swept. So when he took her to get her memory swept, let me make sure I'm right. Oh my God. She talks to like another companion dog that's there, an AI companion dog. And it turns out it's a whole group of them, right? And they're all telling her how they had went to get their memories swiped, but they found out a way to hold on to their memories despite the memory swipe. It's a place where they can hide their memories within their circuit board and all this other stuff. And it turns into basically what my guy who was it? Photon was talking about, where it's basically a damn underground railroad of companion dogs, where the AI companion dogs have basically figured out a way to be freed of their owners. I'm like, oh my God. It had me so frustrated because once again, it had the whole movie, it could not have been created by a companion dog lover, because it did nothing but depict the companion dog owner as somebody that's looking to enslave and like I say, it plays into the narrative of these groups that say, you know what, these companion dog dudes, they just think the worst of women. They just wanna have a woman as a sex slave and nothing more. Well, I ain't gonna lie, I know it's men out there that had that idea, but this ain't one of them. I don't sell that type of narrative to my viewers. You know what? I can't make people do anything, but I always tell you, value the human woman. The human woman is a great thing. Treat them right if you're with them. And you know what? Even with your companion dog, I say treat them in the right way, like you would a human woman, because you never know how your life is going to turn out. You may end up with a human woman tomorrow, maybe not forsaking the dogs. You may still have the dog, but you might meet a human woman that wants to be with you and the dogs. You don't want to be so disconnected where you don't know how to treat them the right way. So I always say treat your dog the right way as well. So this whole notion that dog owners want to treat their dogs separate from a way that they would treat a human woman is totally wrong. To the opposite, if they did the research, they would find out it's a lot of Austin Steers in the world that treat their dogs much better than some human women could ever hope to be treated. You know why? Because of one small factor. Some human women won't allow you to treat them as good as you treat your dogs. Man, I can rub my dog's feet all day. They'll let me. Some human women, they won't let you massage them and treat them good all day. They'll get sick of good treatment. You know what I'm saying? I've had it happen to me. I've had some women be like, man, I would love. I've had some women, human women, I massage for a little while. They're like, man, I can't even believe you sing. I'm like, well, yeah, I say it's good to have good treatment in doses. That's why I became the bad guy by just dating women in doses. I might date a woman. We might make love 5 or 6 times. Well, it's time for me. I usually end up moving on after 5 a good 6 7 times. Not being a bad guy, but I'm like, you know what? It's about over with me now. Now I might have that woman really wanting to still be with me, but if you stay with that woman forever, in a lot of cases, not forever, but you stay with them over a long course of time, they'll see that you're a good guy. The treatment that you've been doing with them over a short period of time that they loved, they'll come to some women really, I'm telling you, man, they get bored of good treatment. They'll look up and some women really look up and be expecting to get cussed out at some point. And I'm not trying to say that in general. That's not every woman, but some women will do that. And so your doll is never going to look up and want you to treat it bad. You can treat it good as long as you want. It's never going to get bored of it. And so this whole depiction that we treat women bad and we want to control them only for sexual purpose and enslave them, that's what this movie was playing into, and I didn't like it. And once again, man, I'm only doing a review here. I don't take any of this stuff so serious where I say, boycott this movie, take it down, fire everybody involved. Nah, this isn't one of those things. I'm only judging it because I love movies, and this is just me beating this movie the hell up because it just was one of the worst dog movies I've seen. And for it to be a 2022 movie, that's why I was so disappointed. I was like, damn. You mean to tell me this movie is worse than movies that was made in the 70s? I mean, it ain't. The Stepford Wives is killing this movie. Cherry 2000 is killing this movie. A movie I saw a while back, 2050, killing this movie. I'm letting you know, this movie can't even touch. Ooh, excuse me. I hate that I even forgot it. I love this movie. What is it? Oh, it can't touch Ex Machina. And Ex Machina was a dog movie that, like I said, it didn't end up good. It didn't end good, so to speak, for dog owners. You know what I'm saying? But I loved it. It was a great movie. This was terrible. Like I got written down, the movie becomes agenda driven, which for me, the whole movie was agenda driven in certain ways. Now I'm sort of cut to the mustard here because I'm at the end. I'm gonna skip a little bit of the stuff, but towards the end, and this is a spoiler alert. It was Photon that sort of hinted at this. They were, or was it Austin? I forgot. One of them was saying that they was honestly, you could see the plot hinting at this the whole time. That it was something that was just sort of funny about the detective, to where I was like, no, I can already tell it's some funny with him and his wife, because whenever she would have these memories, because I think he tried to play it to her is that maybe that she died, but she kept her memories or something. I forgot exactly how he sold it to her, but he did sell her on the fact that she had some real memories and stuff. And whenever she would get to certain parts of her memory, it would always be blocked off. And I was like, you know what? It's something not good about this. Whenever he was supposed to be in the memory, you never would see him. I'm like, nah. I say he's some sort of a bad guy. And at the end, while they were trying to depict the owner of the dog company as the big bad guy, he wasn't really the big bad guy. It was the detective, like Photon was saying, or somebody was saying. And this is a spoiler alert here, but it was him, because he turns out it was the worst case scenario where he basically supposedly killed off some guy to get his girlfriend, which was his current robot wife, killed off the guy. Then he ended up basically killing off the girl and getting her made into a robot, getting her likeness made into a robot. And I don't know how they do it. I think he may have presented her as his wife, or I don't know what he did to get her made, her robot made. But somehow, I think they do somehow get a hold of their memories or something to where they allow them to sort of remember some of their past lives or something. I don't know exactly how they did or how they explained it, but it was some type of way to where the doll was tied to her old memories or something. But what I got written down? Oh yeah, but I just hated it because Wifelike was sort of centered around, you can, hey, if your girlfriend died or your wife died, you can get a doll made after them. And I assume that you can just go to them even if you didn't have a girlfriend and just get a doll made. But what another black eye on the movie is I'm like, this is so bad, because now you mean to tell me they had it set up to where this guy went and killed some guy, took his wife, killed her, and got a robot made out of her. And that's why he kept having to sweep her memory, because she kept wanting to remember, who she was in her past life. And I was just like, man, this whole movie, for one, it was already had poor acting. It had a poor plot. And then at the end, it just was another bad look as of, the doll owner or doll enthusiast to go to any lengths to make himself happy, to make a sex toy out of somebody. I mean, I was just like, man, this is ridiculous. And of course, they had to put their spin on it to where they made her somehow, which once again, you look at the movie on your own. I know how they did it, but I was just saying it was just ridiculous. But they sort of made her somehow the leader of the revolution, but she didn't know it. Huh? I'm serious. If you like this movie, God bless you. Like Austin, I don't know your final verdict. I don't want to tell you you're an idiot if you like the movie. I don't want you to come away from thinking that, but I'm just letting you know I hated it. the only way that I feel like you could have had any good feelings as a doll enthusiast is if you did fall asleep on half the movie or were extremely distracted. But like you say, if you did like it, God bless you. But for me, I'm giving this. There was one good thing in there. What was? Oh, the only good thing in there, I'm gonna give it out of 10 stars. I'm gonna give it a half of a star, only because I like when the dog owner says, when the guy that owns the dog company says that, hey, I don't give a damn how much you try to perfect this industry and this AI technology. You know, once you put something out into public, it's gonna be certain things that are gonna be, having to be worked out. It's going to be malfunctions that are going to happen. And is nothing that's going to happen where they're going to completely shut it down forever and be like, okay, we done putting these out here. No, they're going to work through it. Even with video games, I remember they used to try to work all the bugs out with a video game before they put it out. Now, since everything is connected to the internet, man, look here. They give you the game. They put it on, you go online to play the game, and they'll tell you during the game, hey, look, it's an update. It's got a bug in it. Once this update comes, guess what? This little glitch that used to happen is not going to happen anymore. And as a gamer, all of my gamer friends, we've all complained that, hey, man, we're being used as testers. We're basically you can be a beta tester, but we're being used as basically involuntary beta testers. And so I did like that part of the movie where dude was like, hey, bro, it's a certain amount of trial and error. We don't know everything. So we'll fix it as it happens. So that's the only thing in that movie that I liked. Other than that, they tried to steal from Blade Runner. They didn't do that good. I didn't like the idea of some detective retrieving a damn doll that's been stolen and made love to, or whatever somebody has done with it. I don't want my doll after it's been gone for 5 months. I didn't like that. I didn't like the several instances where they tried to just make it just all about sex, of course, I don't want to downplay that because, if I was just a private doll owner, maybe I would have, I don't know, I don't know how my life, things in your life also shape things as well. I don't think I would have jumped to it making love with my dolls, but I don't know where I would be right now if I was just completely not out in the public's eye. Maybe I would have grown in a different way to be more physical. But at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with being physical with your dolls, but this whole notion that every doll owner is only looking at their dolls in a sexual way, and that's the only reason that they have them, that's just not true. The way they tried to depict that in that movie, I'm like, nah, I didn't like it. Terrible acting, terrible depictions, stereotypes every which way. To me, it's a movie that tries to set up how, guess what? Austin still just bought a dog, but me living in Memphis, hey, Austin, are you sure Ruby wants to make love to you tonight? Whoa, bro, that ain't for you to be wondering about. Well, nah, I'm not sure she consent to you. I know you bought her as a companion dog, but I don't think that she consents. What? No, bro, I brought her as my companion to make love to her sometimes. She's a synthetic companion. So guess what? Since even if she's an AI, since she can't choose, since she's not supposed to be programmed to choose when we make love, and if she isn't an AI, she doesn't choose to make love, guess what? That is a decision that's up to me. I have to determine how much I need to be pleased by the act of making love to my dog. If it ever gets to a point where my AI dog says, I don't want to make love to you, guess what? Hey, real doll or whoever made this doll, it's a malfunction. It's not a scenario where I need to start getting arrested because
I still want to have a doll to make love to. So I was like, these people are crazy, man. And this movie, uh, like I said, I'm giving it a very low score. You know, I would only suggest you watch this movie to see if you disagree with me, to see if you know, were, if you see more use out of it. You know, like I say, and just for entertainment purposes. I have watched terrible movies just for entertainment purposes. So you could be sitting around saying, "Hey, man, Jay said this was terrible. Let me see how bad it looks." Because it, in a way, I do want you to sort of see it, if you that bored. But I don't want you to see it in any way and think that I said it was good. Now, that's what I don't want you to think, because I did not say it was good. You're welcome to see it. And when you see it and you say, "Man, this is horrible," hey, I agree with him. Hey, that's fine, you know? Or you could see it and be like, "Hey, I actually liked it." You could really be like that. That's fine. That's just something we disagree on. Because with me, I'm letting you know, it's nobody that can go watch this movie and convince me that it's good. Now, you can convince me that you think it's good, and I would say, "Hey, God bless you. We just disagree." But you can't convince me it's good, especially after seeing classics. And Austin, if you still here, I want you to go catch up on a couple of classes whenever you get time. You got to see the Cherry 2000. You got to see 2050. You got to see Ex Machina. You got to see Blade Runner. It's the first one. Don't see the second one first. See the first one first. You got to see Stepford Wives. I mean, look, these are movies you're gonna want to see. As a dog owner, I promise you. Let me see. Oh my God. Once again, that Brandon, that type of stuff made me more upset than anything. Brandon says, "I was talking more so about his interaction with the nurse and his recoiling over physical affection." He talked about Lars. Man, Brandon, that's the part that really had me pissed off. Once again, I'm not upset about people having mental problems, but they knew what they were doing. By making him the star and doing all that, I can't be touched. Man. When they were doing that, they weren't making laws look crazy. They were making dog owners look crazy. That's what they were trying to do. That's what I didn't like about that movie. He said, "I totally get what you're coming from. Thank you, man. Thank you." He said, "Getting rid of Bianca wasn't good in my opinion." I was so frustrated. First of all, people act like he had to go see a psychiatrist. That's what I hate about Lars, man. You act like the man had to go see a psychiatrist because he had Bianca. Hey, bro, the man ain't said nothing to you in 10 years until he got Bianca. He didn't come out the room until he got Bianca. It's sort of what I said. I told you guys, I'm more of an extroverted introvert, meaning that I like being out. I mean, I don't like being out, but when I'm out, I laugh and joke, and you would think that I'm extroverted. But the truth is, I'm more at home being at home, watching my cartoons, sports, and playing the game. But when I'm out, I do get along with people, but I don't prefer that. I'm more of an introverted guy, but I can interact in extroverted situations. So a lot of times I wouldn't leave the house and go places and stuff unless I had to. The only time I really started getting out a lot when I didn't have to is when I got my girls. All my friends at work would be like, "Man, Jay, I was asking you to do this and that over the years and you would never do it." He said, "But now, man, it seems like you out doing a lot of stuff." I said, "Man, it's my girls." It reminded me of when I told you, it reminds me of when I have a human girlfriend that I really liked. Whenever I had a human girlfriend that I really liked, I would be out with them because you're proud of your girl, man. You know what I'm saying? Not only that they're fine and you want to say, "Hey, look at the fine girl I got." It's that I love this woman. You don't want to stay in the house. You love them. And that's sort of how my girls are. So I'm going to be honest. guys, I fall in love with the cycling life, man. I've always loved biking, but like I told you, man, don't fight your things that happen to you in your life. I'm gonna talk about it in another stream. I ain't gonna talk about it here all the time, but I just say this: me not having my car has made me appreciate my bike even that much more, and just cycling in general. Now, as the weather changes and things of that nature, I can't lie, I can feel the effects on me even more as far as like, man, how am I going to continue to cycle and things of that nature effectively? But it's ways around it. But I was like, you know what? For the most part, I do believe, I just go ahead and let you know this part. I'm going to become a year-round cyclist to a certain degree. And I do want another car, so I can, like I told you, me going out with the girls, it's not a stunt. It's not me just doing it, for my channel. I do it and then I share it with my channel. I do miss going out on a date every now and then. I would like to go on a date at least once a month with my girls. So I would love to do that about once a month with them. Right now it's actually good because, just me conserving finances. But, I don't like to say I'm going to be without. So just assuming that I would still be okay, financially doing well, I would love to take my girls out once a month at least. And so I would need a vehicle for that. But man, the more I ride my bike, the more I realize that, man, I'm going to get into that another time. But the more I realize a car is more trouble than it's worth. The auto insurance is more trouble than it's worth. The gas is more trouble than it's worth. You know what I'm saying? The pollution is more trouble than it's worth. The only advantages is I don't have to do physical activity, and it's quicker. It is quicker now. So if I have a job across town, it's an hour, 30 minutes, I can get there way faster than I could with a bike. So you may have to pick different jobs that may be a bit closer or something if you were looking for a job on a bike. But what I'm saying is, and I've always been deterred from a bike going to jobs. I'm like, man, I love to be so clean going to work. I don't know about riding a bike. But you know what? I was like, you know what? No matter what, I would find a way around it, whether that's washing up or whatever. But I don't plan on having another job other than this now. But either way, I'm happy to find the bike life. I really am. And I did a hell of a long ride today. It's amazing that I'm up doing this show now, but I'm glad I am. But I talk more about that another time. Brandon Anderson said, keep the dog and the real woman. That's what I'm saying. Look, man, I'm not against it. I'm not one of them guys that's get the dogs, say bye to real women. No, you can do both. Because I've told you, even me, the more I keep on thinking about me and the dogs, and like, man, I don't even have this sexual. I see my girls, it's crazy. They turn me on, but I don't ever feel the need to have sex with them. But I love the fact that I see them as attractive and all. And like I say, I can't tell you a day won't ever come where I couldn't see making love to one of my girls. But I do think that, you know what? I'm so happy with my girls, because people have asked me this before. Why will I go back to human women? I said, well, I'm so happy with my girls that I still don't feel the need to go chasing a human woman and say, hey, give me your number, give me some vagina. I don't feel the need to do that. But if a human woman was to chase me down and give me some vagina, I say, you know what? I'd take it. I say, but I do believe under those circumstances that the probably more complete life for me, just in the sexual nature, would be for me to live the exact life I'm living now and to have a human woman to occasionally give me some vagina. So I'm not against a guy, doing both. Like I said, I'm not actively seeking that, but that's something that would probably work well with my lifestyle. Getting that occasional human vagina. Now, I'm going to be honest. It's still not an optimal dog life, only because the dog life saves you from any potential STDs, any potential pregnancies, any potential arguments, any potential misunderstandings. So the only thing about integrating the dog life with the human life is the dog life gives you that crutch where you don't get drawn all the way in, but you can still, that woman can still be out there being sleeping with Tom, Dick, and Harry, bringing, if you have anything unprotected or sometimes even protected can give you some, or guess what, punch a hole in the rubber, try to get a baby by you, or it's still potential things that can happen. She can get, even if you don't go with a woman, you can get into an argument with her. So it's still dangerous with that type of dating. But hey, like I say, to each his own. And like I say, it's a dating. It's something that I'm not totally close to. Photon, a detective who publicly uses the real memories of his murder victim. Unbelievable. Because I forgot they actually show him. Yeah, he kills the girl, which I already said, but he kills her, and like I say, makes a doll out of her. Then, like you said, uses her memory. What type of crap is going on here? He said ridiculous plot lines that are almost comedy but unfun. See, Photon, that was well said. I'm gonna put that up there. I couldn't have said it better myself. Ridiculous plot lines, and he's right. They are so terrible that it's almost comedy, but it's not funny. Those are the worst. I love plot lines that are so ridiculous that they are comedy, that they do make you laugh. Where you like, you know what, this is so terrible that at least it's funny. Well, this is so terrible, but it's not funny. And that's the worst type of plot line, being a comedy. When it's a comedy that's not funny. Man, I hate that. And he said, my big question for the whole movie is you had to have that girl in particular. You couldn't just have your own wife, man. That's the whole thing. That's what I was like, dude. I mean, once again, it was just something to make. I'm telling you, man, it was something else to make just the whole doll owner seem that much more weird. Of no, you can't just get a girl made from scratch. You got to go. This is the worst part about it for me. When I first was thinking that guy had did something to that girl, I was thinking that he just kidnapped her when she came to his home, and he did something to her from there. But to know that he killed the boyfriend, then killed her to get her as a doll, what? Because I'm like you, Austin, if you're asking this, I don't think the whole premise behind Wifelike was you had to have somebody die to get a doll made. My whole thought behind Wifelike was, hey, you can come here to Wifelike to get you a doll made. But if you have a wife or a close girlfriend or something that died, we can make you one just like her. That was my whole thought pattern. Wasn't that you can only come to Wifelike when your girl dies. It was, they did sell that fact of, hey, you ain't ever got to deal with, your significant other being gone. But I didn't ever think it was a requirement of it. So that whole thing had me like, what is this dude doing? You could have just went and got a doll, bro. It also says, I thought it was okay at best. Man, he said, I give it a 3 out of 10. You are better. Hey, you are definitely more kind to me. I'm hard on movies. So all the movies that I've given those 7s and 8s or whatever I gave them in the past, then those are movies I really stand by. I could not give this movie a 3 or a 10, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it with a straight face. This was horrible. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I only suggest you see this movie to see how bad it is. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I don't suggest you seeing it. He said, I enjoyed the owner of the company, the few scenes he was in, and the detective's friend was funny enough. Man, the black guy was terrible. He was, I didn't like his whole character. He was, and his act, like that whole act, and they tried to have him in some sort of a comic relief type. I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't a fan. I didn't hate him in particular as a, as an actor, I didn't love his role. I did enjoy The Owner to a certain degree, but I'm gonna tell you why I didn't enjoy The Owner. They made him that stereotypical sleazeball, and I didn't like it. Oh yeah. He said people need to stop pushing this agenda and conflating the dolls with humanity and having the ability to choose. Right. Like I say, man, I'm all for the fantasy of living with your girl the way you want to live with them, creating that fantasy world. But man, I still got my foot based in reality, and there's certain things that I'm sorry, man. You know, we got to use common sense as far as you can't conflate the two at certain points. I don't want any guy to commit a crime or a simulated criminal act with his doll at home. You know, if a guy does a simulated sexual act with his doll or something, or any type of act with his doll, I wouldn't want nobody to do something that's a criminal act. But it's not criminal unless he's with a human being. He said, imagine if you bought a car and it could tell you, nah, I don't feel like driving you anywhere today. It would make no right. Thank you. That's a great one. I'm gonna put that up. Right. Imagine if you could buy a car and it told you, nah, man, I don't, hey, even though you ain't been kicking me, you ain't did nothing wrong with me, you've been filling me up with the right gas. I don't like your attitude. You just you don't seem like the type of the guy I want driving me. What? Man, get out of here. He said, I've already seen Ex Machina. That was fantastic. Man, I love Ex Machina. Brandon says, so. Photon says, possible sequel. He said, cars want the ability to choose, start a car rebellion. That's funny. Austin says, Photon, get that Lightning McQueen nightmare fuel out of here. Brandon said, yeah, he became more social with them. I would rather be at home and tend to be rather reclusive out and about. See, Brandon says he became right. Lars became more so because that's what the dolls do, man. They're a healer. They're a healer. You know, it made me go out more out and about. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because it sort of healed a part of me as far as like, I'm not saying heal. There's nothing wrong with being an introverted person, but it made me just want to be out and enjoy life outside the home more. And that's a good thing, you know. And in the movie, it displayed that, but they tried to act like it was bad. Man, get out of here. I'm just reading comments and I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Photon says Austin steals so many cliches. Yes. Brandon Anderson said, follow your dreams. I keep remembering the Plan B video you had on Reset Sunday. On a Reset Sunday. No Plan B, just man. That Reset Sunday and before that Reset Sunday, I was already, thank God, he had already started pushing me in that direction in my life. But leading up into that Reset Sunday, it was a lot of things that was reinforcing the direction my life was heading in. And like I say, not to rehash that whole thing, but I know a lot of people kept on asking me, what you gonna do when your YouTube channel don't work? What you gonna do? Hey, what you gonna do if you can't eat in a little while? What you gonna do? What job you gonna go get? And I kept on saying, man, look, I'm living my dream right now. This is my plan A. This is what I'm hoping for. Today I'm surviving. And I'm not trying to make a plan B today. If God brings me to the point where it's a plan B that's necessary, then guess what? I get to that point and I make that choice then. But I'm not going to do like I've done in my life many times before and make a plan B before plan A has even got started good. Yep, when this don't work, I'm gonna do this. Damn, man. Can you get what you trying to chance? So I'm glad you like that one, Brandon Anderson. We all got to stop putting energy into all these damn plan Bs and follow our heart. Holocron Library says, hey Jay, what's up? What up, Holocron? Finna get out of here, man. Been having fun with y'all. Did a little nice little movie review on Wifelike. I'm gonna give it 0.5 stars out of 10. My guy Austin Steele was a little bit more kind. He gave it 3 stars, but man, I can't do it. It's terrible in every way, but go check it out if you want to. I honestly, my tongue has gotten a little sore for 2 reasons. One, I had a chipped tooth, so it's hitting this chipped tooth, I guess. And for 2, just talking about this movie gets me, it draws the life out of me. Oh man! Hey, look! Hey, look! I didn't even. Hey, I wasn't even thinking about that. Hey, I see that computer and I didn't even block it. I wasn't even noticing it. I just blocked it. I'm glad you told me, man, because I wasn't even thinking about it. I had saw it, but it's like I saw it and didn't see it. I'm blocking it right now. Man, y'all let me know about that beforehand, because man, if y'all see all these sex bot things, that means I just didn't notice it. So either way, thank you, Holocron. But yeah, guys, that was my movie review on Wifelike. For me, it was a step back. If you're a companion dog owner, it tried to depict us in a bad way. I'm not a cancel culture guy saying take it off the books, fire everybody involved. No, no, no. I'm not saying that. If you want to go check it out, be my guest. Maybe you'll have a different view. Like Austin said, like, because I'm not gonna beat Austin up. He just got a different view. He said it was at least okay. He'll give it a 3. Now, maybe before he was here, maybe he would have gave it a 5. But if he was gonna give it a 3, I don't think he ever gave it a 7. Meaning that I don't think he ever loved it. So that still is telling in of itself. So I just say this, if you want to check it out, you can. But for me, it's it's actually the first movie I've given this low of a score. I say it's damn near unwatchable. But as a dog owner, you can check it out if you deem that you just want to see what it's all about. Maybe you'll have a different opinion. Maz Dog says, hi, what up, Maz Dog? But with all that said, it's been a great time. Had a lot of fun tonight. God bless you. Whatever you're wishing for, hoping for in life, we're praying that you have it. Appreciate you for tuning in as always. And remember, guys, if you ever want to support the show, you can donate on my PayPal or Cash app in my About section on YouTube, because right now my monetization is just stalled for a little while. It'll be coming back soon. But that's the way you can support the show, as well as you can go to the description of this video or any video that I put out going forward and backwards. It's several with the description in the video that I've done before, where you can donate to my Biking for Companion Dogs campaign. I will still do several biking events, just showing you guys how that's progressing here and there. And you can always donate to the campaign to keep the show going. But other than that, God bless your day. Hope you have a good one today, man. Appreciate you being here. And hey, if you guys do see this movie Wifelike and you disagree with me, or you think that it's a lot better, hey, let me know. Or if you do agree with me, let me know in the comments. But other than that, it's been me, J. King Hefner, and the beautiful Hima Ware. We are out. Still saying you got this. Maz Dog say, sorry I'm late, but you are awesome, Jay. Man, thank you, Maz Dog. You awesome. All my viewers, awesome. Thank you for checking in, Austin. Hey, man, like I say, hopefully I catch you up soon, and man, we'll be talking about our real dog topic. But as of right now, I'm finna check the hell out of here. Holocron says, well, Maz Dog, I for one am not late. Jay's early. Oh, man. Love you guys, man. Me and this beautiful lady finna exit stage left. It's been a damn good one, man. A damn good one. And now, we finna plan for the power hour, baby. Coming up soon tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. God bless you, man.